Noel and Liam Gallagher have fuelled rumours of an Oasis reunion. The brothers posted an image on social media suggesting an announcement is coming tomorrow at 8 a.m. Reports have suggested the pair will perform together next year, including a possible headline set at Glastonbury. I got the thoughts of James Corcoran from the Oasis podcast.
I don't have a crystal ball, but I do have multiple sources, including a fantastic guy called Secret Drug Addict on Twitter, who's a music industry insider, really good guy, does a lot of good sort of drug rehab information. And he's an industry insider. He's been saying for a little while that this is happening. It's going to be a reunion tour. That's what we're thinking. And what I've been hearing for a long time is 10 gigs Manchester, 10 gigs London, so probably Wembley and Heaton Park. So yeah, that would be very exciting.
Second big question, why? Why is this happening and why now?
Well, Noel has got an expensive divorce to pay for. That's probably the cynical route. I think that Liam's always wanted to. You know, Liam, even he tweeted the other day, I never liked the word former, as in former Oasis singer. You know, Liam has just been ready to go back since day one. And it was Noel that walked away and wanted to do his own sort of solo thing. And so Liam sort of begrudgingly carried on, and as a couple of other names, as BDI and then as Liam Gallagher solo. But he's been ready to go back from day one. I think that now, obviously, it's the 30th anniversary of What's the Story, Morning Glory, their most famous album. And so it makes sense in that regard. I suppose it's a perfect that they've had a bit of a break. So, you know, the excitement is built up. It's probably the greatest it's ever been. But if they left it too much longer, then they're sort of then pushing into their late 50s, and then they are, you know, a little bit older. So I think that the time is probably absolutely perfect right now.
And do you think, James, there might be new music? Can we expect new music from them?
I would love that. I haven't heard that. That's not been sort of part of any of the rumours that we've been hearing. Primarily, it's been, as I said, the gigs and tours, and is it just going to be these sort of these shows that we've been hearing about, or like is it going to be Glastonbury and things like that, a North American tour? But there's not been any discussion of new music, and I don't know whether that would be the case, because, you know, ultimately they can probably, you know, Noel can probably put up with Liam, you know, getting in and out of tour buses, but having him in the studio for a few months might be a little bit tricky.
There are a generation of young people, James, who will know Oasis from, I guess, music apps, streaming services, but probably never seen them live. How popular do you think these gigs will be?
Oh, they're going to be absolutely huge. I mean, you know, there was a lot of talk about when Nebworth was announced in 1996 that it was something like 2% of the population tried to get tickets. I mean, if it is 10 shows at Wembley, 10 shows at Heaton Park, I mean, that's getting on for 2 million tickets there. And I think they will sell out easily. As I said, you've got all of the people that were there first time round that would be desperate to see them again. But like we said, a whole new generation of people that never got the chance, that were just born too late and are just desperate to see Oasis. And if you go online, if you look around at the different sort of forums and things, it's so many younger people who have discovered the band, whether through streaming services, like you said, or watching the documentaries and things. And it means a lot. And I think it is really that they were like the biggest movement really before the internet kind of took over everyone's lives. So when you look back at those films, it is such a special moment to see all those people in a field with no phones in sight. You know, it's very special.
I mean, and touring is a huge earner for musicians, which we've kind of touched on. Can they expect to make the kind of money that Taylor Swift has made? This is going to be a big earner, isn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. As I said, I think that, you know, if it is 10 nights at Wembley, that will then be beating Taylor Swift's record set this year for 8 nights at Wembley. So knowing how competitive Noel is, especially, you can imagine he's got a little glint in his eye to think, right, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to beat the record. And yeah, it is going to be a huge earner. I mean, we're sort of all worrying now about, okay, well, how much are these tickets going to be? The demand for tickets is going to be insane. I mean, they could charge whatever they want, really, and they probably would still sell out. Although, you know, Oasis did deliberately keep their ticket prices low back in the 90s. That was something, you've looked back at Nebworth, I think it was only about £22. I mean, even with inflation, that wasn't too bad at all.
Yeah. Well, that was James Corcoran from the Oasis podcast.